Peace, light, love, blessings, and blessings. Welcome, everyone, to the Healing for the Healers Kwanzaa Summit. We are so happy that we have gathered as this collection of 9 beautiful healers, energy beings, spirit beings, communal warriors, all levels of things that go under the spectrum of healers, and really giving an opportunity for community to support the work that we do in either reparative care, so reparations, if that is, you feel a call there, or if you are someone of African descent, you can contribute to us under the banner of communal care. And we are, that is really an offering from our hearts for us to be supported, and also to really raise back up the paradigm of the Black healer in society. We do the work, and we want to bring that energy back in alignment in a beautiful way. So all of that said, I am Nisankopa. I am one of the 9 healers in this beautiful collective, and I have the honor and privilege of having a conversation with Allison Rozzel, this beautiful spirit being who I've known for several years now, and had opportunity to receive work from, to work in collaboration on projects. I know how you walk in the world. You are truly a warrior of light. And I would like for you to, in your own words, introduce yourself and whatever you want to say about your beautiful self.
Well, I would first like to just give thanks for the opportunity to come and speak with you today. My name is Allison Rozzel, and I am the Pathway Priestess for the Sacred Pathway to Liberated Black Womanhood, which is a fabulous podcast that you can find on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, any of them places that you go and you find the podcast. I am also a spiritual liberation coach, as well as a healer. My healing deals mainly in the divination of Reiki energy healing, but I'm also an intuitive oracle reader as well. Let's see, what else we need to talk about? What else do I need to say about myself? Let's see. I am the daughter of 2 teachers, and it's funny, I always said when I was growing up that I would never be a teacher, but we know how spirit do. What is that they say? Tell God your plans and God laughs.
Exactly.
But I never knew that would be. I'm saying, like, teaching, I always thought about, okay, I'm standing in front of a classroom, I got all these kids around me and all that. So that was the part that I was saying, no, that's not of the spectrum of teaching and guiding and mentoring and everything. So stepping into this calling has been me basically embodying the work that is the lineage of my family. And I give thanks for that.
That is, wow, that really touched a space in me, because I think many healers, and I know for myself, it really is, I resonate with that so deeply. I always say I'm in the energy of my grandmother, who was a very devout woman, a nurse, and a healer. I would call her a healer. She would not use those. She would have never used those words, right?
Oh no.
And the modalities of spirituality that I, use and engage in are not the modalities that she was so devout in, but the energy is the same. The energy is the same. And that's kind of where I want our conversation to start today, because you are, that is your sphere of magic, energy, in working in energy. And so, in the spirit of like Kwanzaa and in this whole Healers for the Healer movement, what medicine do you want to give to us around what that means for you, and what you think is needed in this particular space and time for humanity around healing energy work?
Great question. Great question. And loaded, but because I can spin, I can keep going. So but I'm gonna try and just bring this home, Y'all don't pay us no mind. It's just how me and these roles.
We got a few minutes to be here with that, because we need to be here with that,
Yes, absolutely. So funnily enough, this year is actually going to be my first official year of celebrating Kwanzaa. I've always looked at it and thought it was a beautiful thing. I didn't really understand it until like most recent years. And this year I felt really passionate about honoring my father, because one of the things that he had talked about before he passed was he wanted us to celebrate Kwanzaa. And at that time, I didn't fully understand why he wanted that. And I couldn't connect, the dots as to what was so important. But in these last few years, as I've gotten to learn some of the principles of Kwanzaa, in knowing my dad for the man that he was, I fully understand it now. So with 2020 being the way that it is, energetically, I said this in one of my live events when it comes to 2020. 2020 has been a purge. It's been an energetic purge for so many of us. Now, don't get it twisted. There are a lot of people that are thriving in 2020, and, God bless them. But what I'm noticing energetically, because when it first started with the pandemic, when it hit, I already started to feel a shift within the atmosphere and the earth that I could not explain. But one word that came forth was truth. That 2020 was going to bring a lot of truth.
Woo! Okay. Not to interrupt you, sister. But really, like, I want to give myself an opportunity to really breathe with all of that. We could just press stop right now, and that's the whole entirety of a word. Okay,
let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just breathe.
Would you lead us in a breathing?
Yeah. So let's just take a moment as we sit and think about the word truth. Let's just breathe that in right now. And where we want to feel it the most is in two places. We've got our root chakra, which is at the tailbone, and in our throat chakra. And let's just breathe. Just feel that. Feel it and sit in that. And think about the truths that have come to light for you this year. With every inhalation, you bring in new energy that surrounds you, and with each exhalation, all the old paradigms, the old truths that we used to hold so near and dear, we just blow them out. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. And just check in with your body, because that's really all the energy healing is just checking in and making sure you can feel within your body when something resonates, when something feels like you need to just sit in it for a minute. So just breathe it in And just let your body just breathe that natural breath, because that is truth. What your body does naturally is truth. Ashe.
I just want to bow so deeply to you because like that one sentence hit so deeply in myself where I was like, wow, I really need a moment to let that like hit me in a true way. And thank you for like just giving us that medicine like that to let it settle. When you said
Yeah.
it's been a purge and that it's brought up so much truth, that's so real. I got goosebumps on my body, as you were directing us and really just like think about the truths that have come forward, just really,
Yeah.
one of the things I love about you have a effortless way to just bring like these like deep bottom to the core of the earth stuff. You just like, I did not see that coming. Okay. you know, but it really does hit you like, yo, it has been a purge.
It has. It
Yeah. And
has.
the rising up, of
Yes.
that. So please continue. I want to hear all the wisdom that you have to share there.
Sure. Yeah. So let's go for a minute back to when we were doing our deep breathing. When I said we're looking at the root chakra and the throat. The reason why we have to go to the root, because the root is where we're grounded. And the truths that came forth in this year, the things we thought we were grounded in, the things we thought were secure for us, the things we thought we could depend on, the old paradigms that we've been sitting on, and that God, that Mother Earth, that our ancestors have been trying their best to get us to get off of our
Yeah.
rear ends and understand what is going on. And with that, that's why that root chakra, that breathing into that, because those new paradigms are the new ones that you got to get rooted in.
Ooh.
And so when I talk about the throat chakra, your truth needs to be told. We've been holding back a lot, especially as Black women. We've been holding back a lot. We hide our pain. We don't cry in front of anybody. We, don't always voice our opinions because we don't want to be the angry Black woman. We don't want to be viewed as too assertive, too combative, too confrontational, too emotional, too this, too that. Tastes great. Let's feel in. We don't want to do any of that.
Right. Exactly.
But now with 2020 commanding us
Right.
to sit in truth and to recognize truth when it comes. So the throat chakra, not only are you speaking truth, but your throat is connected to your ears. That's why you have ear, nose, and throat. So you inhale through your nose, and inhaling through your nose goes through to your ears and down into your throat. And that is where you voice your truth. You hear your truth, then you regurgitate and speak the truth.
I've never had that connection of like hearing, when you are, that makes so much sense when you are grounded in truth, you can hear the truth. It rings true to
Yes.
you. It rings true to you. And
Yes.
then like you said, the next version is to like try to articulate, to build that
Yes.
muscle up. And when you were saying about the truth is natural, like whatever that sentence was when you were in the meditation, the truth is what's natural to us. And I just felt that so deeply resonant, tied into what you just said about the throat chakra, because we have been conditioned away from just letting our essence, be what it is, and to be in that in a natural way, and to speak it in a natural way,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So with 2020's energy, where I said it was about truth. So the purge comes to get rid of those old ways of thinking, those old ways of, because, I don't know about you, but when we first started doing the lockdown, I started looking at my stuff and I'm like, damn, I'm hoarding a lot of stuff. Why do I have all this? So it's like, okay, the truth of the matter is I bought this stuff to make me feel better instead of dealing what was really the problem. I bought these clothes to impress people that would never impress with me to begin with.
And the clothes ain't gonna make it no different.
Okay? Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I bought it because I was in a bad mood and, I wanted to make myself feel better. And that was yet another layer, another mask, another untruth, instead of me standing in my power and my strength and allowing myself to be vulnerable enough to speak my truth and be authentically who I am. So that purge started to happen. And one of the oracle cards that I kept seeing a lot of is from one of the decks that I have, because I have several.
Yes.
And one of the cards that came up was clean it up. Clean it up.
Woo!
So in that purge, that's what we were being called to do. So that's why this year has been extremely heavy for a lot of people, because it's like, oh, I have to get rid of my toys. I have to get rid of my mask, not the mask that you got to wear to go to the grocery store. I'm talking about that mask you put on that's not showing you in the light of which how you were created to be. That persona that you do when you get on Instagram and you try to make everybody think that your life is so great and you living your best life when you're actually living your worst nightmare.
Yes. You know what? 2020 for me, like I knew it was going to be an ascension time. Like we have been talking about this for years in our circles, like just feeling, like you said, there's something you can feel into, like some. I always do that. I'm always like, something's coming, something's coming. Like I smell it on the energetic wind. Like I'm not necessarily able to always, and most times I'm not able to pinpoint exactly, but I know something coming. Like I feel it, And for me, I've been talking about like this happened in 2020. I'm like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that something this big is happening.
Right.
What you just touched on that I am in, like right now, like this latter part of 2020, is I'm so used to being the one who is helping other people put down their mask that I didn't realize I had several. I'm doing this now in my life,
Yes.
And I try to show up authentically. I try to show up authentically, but even us who do this work all the time can be blinded by our patterns and about, what feels comfortable, even in the discomfort that we feel like, oh, I'm always stretching, I'm always reaching, I'm always, investigating. But even that is a persona that has to be questioned. Like, is this really me? And what you said about authenticity, it doesn't mean it wasn't you once.
Right. It just means that you is part of the purge. That you that you thought you were, or the one you thought you had to be, now is part of the purge. But here's the thing, for a small amount of people, the purge is optional. If you still choose to not be part of it, then God gave us free will and you can do that. But for those of us who are open and have been open, who has experienced an awakening as such, that purge is very real.
Yeah.
Very real. But here's the great thing. From the purge, the new you can emerge.
Mm-hmm.
The new life
Ooh.
can emerge. And they're energetically a rebirth. So whereas before we were like, okay, so let's fix some stuff with that root chakra, because you know that's the familial stuff, that's the ancestral stuff, that's
Ooh.
the, you know, all that stuff that's not yours that you're carrying around. It's that. But as we start to get, because it's not going to end totally, I don't think, with 2021 coming. I think it's going to be maybe going towards the middle, breaking in the spring. We might feel a little bit of relief, you know, but there's going to be like a rebirth. There's going to be like within the sacral area of the womb space and all this creation that's pretty much happening now. There's a lot of conception happening like right now.
For sure.
Like right now.
Yeah, for sure.
So me as an energetic healer, my job is to help you navigate that energy and to make sure that as we're going through this, that you aren't backtracking, that you're only moving forward, so that I can help from the crown to the root, all the way down to your feet, get that energetic clearing that you need so that you can navigate and be able to hear clearly what you need to do.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I say 2020 was a purge for a lot of us. A big purge.
Right. Yeah, and that's just speaking to what I have found to be such a blessing in my life is working with someone one-on-one.
Yes.
Right? Because each one, what is a purge for me ain't got nothing to do with you.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, it's like you said, these things that are at our root chakra are so, I mean, there are like things that all of us, you know, as far as culturally, we have similar patterns, similar types of experiences.
Absolutely.
But we have so much of that is really unique to us and our experiences. And, you know, though, you know, no bust on, I've done, you know, teachers that are more like larger, and this just really speaks to this particular movement too, like this circle of 9, because all of us are and are trying to remain accessible in community, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And I've said this to the collective before. The level at which we have studied, we have cultivated, we have tried to embody that which we're saying that we're doing.
Yes,
we can blow up at any moment. I mean, really, you know, we can do the brand, you know, we can take it, we can get, you know, all our things and take it to the next level. And many of us are at that level and still remaining with and for community where we can be accessible to community. And that's something I think people are missing. It's nothing wrong with that. We need people who are at that level who can help many people with like broader energy healing things. But when it comes down to what you need to do for yourself, you want somebody who is, you know, somebody you can work with, somebody you can trust, you know, you've been able to observe them in the work that they do, so so you can be vulnerable, you can be open, you know, because, you know, I mean, you got to also be discerning about it. But that just really felt really resonant to me about when you were saying, I take people I take it through your own personal clearing, your own personal clearing.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We need
Absolutely.
a community that we can trust and we can walk with. This is this is what we're saying Kofa in this moment,
Yes.
to say,
Exactly.
hey, just because the paradigm was wiped and washed away and destroyed doesn't mean we didn't do what we always do, which was
Exactly.
pivot.
Exactly.
We've
Exactly.
been
Yeah.
pivoting. We've been pivoting
Mm-hmm.
and still serving community, still standing in the lineages and the legacy of healers. Like we are
Yes.
holding up a legacy of, who to and I always say to people, this is not something that people don't recognize. They just
Right.
don't put work. They haven't connected a lot of people to say,
Right.
oh, you know what? And it's across all spectrums of, whatever it is that you practice. Who the people are. You probably
Mm-hmm.
got somebody at your job that's the communal healer. You got somebody
Mm-hmm.
in the spiritual community that's not necessarily the pastor, but they the person
Exactly.
that people
Yes.
come to and they help them work through things. You got
Mm-hmm.
somebody in your family that's the healer. You got these
Mm-hmm.
people in your life, and
Yes.
so we're saying even beyond what we're asking you to sow into us, if it's so resonant to you,
Right.
beyond this, start recognizing and supporting the people who are doing this work in your lives, because
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be even more so important in the years to come.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to lose
Absolutely.
any of the people who have put in so many years of their own life study, the study of their own life lessons, and these really powerful healing modalities that many of us have taken on the expense of that ourselves, and
Yes.
and many times fund people's healing just because we have a heart
Yes.
for it.
Speak it. Yes.
It's real out here.
It's really real. It's really real. It's
It's
really
really
real.
real. Yeah.
And I one of the things that I was thinking about is the fact that what I noticed within the Black community, and you said a word, and this is why it triggered something in me. You said the word trust.
Mm.
And that is a word in the Black community that is so much an issue for us. It's a matter of trust. And let me really break it down as to what I'm talking about. So, have you ever heard the phrase "the white man's water is colder"?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so let's just be real for just a
Let's
minute.
bring it. Come on,
Let's
bring it.
break it down,
Yeah. Hey,
because I
you
was
brought
thinking
in the
about
truth,
this.
okay? You got to embody it. Let's go.
Let's go. So here's the truth. A lot of us don't understand this work. A lot of us don't understand this work. However, we hold, and this is with a lot of Black businesses, period. Black people hold Black businesses more accountable to being flawless, to
Yeah.
being perfect, while at the same time being cheap, giving you a hookup,
Yeah.
to a way different standard than
Yes.
what you do non-Black businesses.
Yes.
So while I don't knock any healer, if that is really what you are, and I can see you for who you really are, doesn't matter what your race is.
Yes.
But if you look at a non-Black healer and say, I want to go to that person, and then you see a Black healer and you're like, I don't know if they
Right.
really,
Right.
they might be
Yeah.
trying to scam me, or
Mm-hmm.
they look too ordinary, or they,
Yes.
they look like they ain't got no money. So how they doing this, or, all this other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yep.
so what I would submit to the people who are skeptical about Black healers is understand this. if we were still in our villages and tribes,
Mm-hmm.
and you had your village or tribe healer,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't be going to that healer empty-handed. You
Right.
wouldn't.
Right.
You wouldn't.
Right.
There would be some
Right.
kind of energy exchange, whether it's,
It's energetic law.
crops.
Like you can't get around it.
Yeah,
You
it's the
can
law of
like
reciprocity. You
yeah.
can't get around that at all.
Nope. Nope. You
So
can't. You can't.
if it were crops, or you would take them a goat, or you give them something, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
But something about this right now, where, because I get it. Like, people will look at my prices and be like, well, why are you charging this when somebody else is doing the same thing for $25? Well, go to that person with $25 if that feels more resonant to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I know what my worth is. And I know
Exactly.
what the time and effort that I'm going to get, because I'm going to give you energetically the caliber of what you are giving me energetically.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Wow.
Exactly.
That's so important too. And that's whoa. And that's so important to why we are needing to offer. That's why I said this is an offering to community.
Yes.
This is an offering because
Yes.
this is how we bring stuff back in alignment, right? Because we have been giving,
Mm-hmm.
this is alignment, and so above, so below, right? So
Absolutely.
we have to practice this balanced energy.
Mm-hmm.
And what all that you said is just like, wow, so much came up within me about why that is. So much of my academic work has been around anti-blackness, like the real,
Mm-hmm.
the real and just documented ad nauseum
Yes.
about how people have purposely demonized and dismissed and disgraced our ancestral practices, right?
Yes.
And not to say that there are not people that are doing things that aren't in alignment, right? Like you do
Right.
have to do that
Absolutely.
discernment, right?
Of
But
course.
the energy you're talking about, where people are just like, but will receive that from somebody else's culture
Yes.
open-heartedly.
Open.
So
Open with
yeah,
open arms,
yeah,
open
like
heart.
I trust you
Like,
some people,
oh
like,
yes, this is
oh, and be
Mhm.
advertising and passing on their information, and so that's really like so you gave us medicine, and you also gave us something to sit with,
Yeah.
to sit with, like, what is
Because
that
truthfully,
about?
I had to sit with that sometimes.
Yeah, for sure, for
I
sure.
mean, those are things that I've had to overcome as
Yeah,
well, because
me
this is
too.
not something that any of us were born where we say, oh, well, let's just give Black people, all our own people, a chance after chance and do all this.
Right.
No, we've pretty much been programmed not to trust each other, not
Yes.
to look down upon like spirituality. Now,
Mm-hmm.
it's like I was telling someone who is not in this circle, but we're still friends,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but I was like, there's good and bad, or good and evil, with every
Every
spiritual, just
exactly.
everything. So,
Exactly.
you
Exactly.
have to use that word that you said, discernment, because we were
King
all
James.
given that.
Yep. Yep.
Now, if you choose to not use it, that's more on you being boo-boo the fool, not me.
Hey, and you can go to your local healer, and they will help you to figure out how to turn back on your intuition and your discernment.
Yes,
Okay, like we here
exactly.
for you. We here for you because we know, like, this is exactly why we show up. Right?
Yes,
We know we
exactly.
have been deprogrammed, desensitized systemically, generation after generation after generation, yo.
Yes, absolutely.
And sometimes we need a guide to get back to even. I know for me, there have been times where I didn't even realize how disassociated I was with certain parts of my body, certain parts of like the time periods in my life and my
Yeah.
experiences, you know,
Mm-hmm.
And it was only through walking with somebody who knew how to hold the space.
Yes. Yes.
And let me be there. And I
Exactly.
felt like, okay, I can even allow myself to think back to see what I'm seeing. I can allow my attention to even go to that part of my body to see what's there, you know?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
it becomes, it's so, what we do is so essential.
It
It's
is.
so
And
essential.
what I hope that people understand is, when because while we're talking about the energy exchange of money, because that's really all it is, it's an energy
Yeah.
exchange. Money
Yeah.
is energy, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Currency. We
It's
call it what it is.
currency is
We call it
energetic,
what it is. Yeah.
it's just as it has just as much energetic shock to your system as if you stuck something in a light socket. It's energy.
Yeah.
But what people have to also understand is, for most of us, we would do this work for free.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of times.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
We got to eat.
Yeah.
We got to pay rent and
Yes.
mortgage. And,
Right.
because, as I'm sitting here on Zoom, Verizon don't care that I'm a healer. Verizon is like, yeah, but can you pay me so you can use this phone I get?
The 20th is,
So, I mean, that you have to just think about that.
Because we'll be like, I love to just be in this, like, this right here is medicine. This is,
yes.
we talk, when we talk just on a phone call or whatever, it'll be out like, let me go and do what I got to do, because this is literally what I do talk about in, like, all day, every day. Like,
all
this
day,
is my life.
every day.
And
yes.
It's a choice that I love. Like, I love being able to be in this life,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
this is healing work for us too. And I think that's important for people to understand. Like, while this is going on, we are healing. We are weekly having conversations,
yes.
holding ceremony, ceremony in the way that we are talking and communing with each other, allowing ourselves to feel into some of these things. Like, sometimes there's blockages there for, like, well, maybe I shouldn't be, it's worthiness stuff that goes on. It's lack mentality that goes on.
Yes.
So we trying to do the work also, and I think that's one of the markers for me. For me, that's one of the main markers for me. If I am looking to walk with someone in any kind of way, and I do healing work, Wyoming is one of the matriarch of this, right? I do healing work with her and others. I do energy work with some of y'all. Like, when I need it and things. And one of the markers for how I use my discernment is, if you're not doing your work, you can't assist me in mine.
Exactly. And that goes to something that I always preach when I talk about coaching and healing. Coaches have coaches. Healers have healers. And if you ever meet a healer or a coach that says that they don't have a coach or a healer or multiple of any, you might want to run away. Because to me, what that says is the thing that that you want me to trust you with, you don't trust it.
Yes, exactly. And
you don't trust it.
It looks so many different ways. Like, some people is your ancestral teams, like that you work with different energy practices and stuff, but it's some type of natural order.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
There is nothing in nature that exists in a silo, nothing. Everything is interdependent, is receiving from the sunlight, and that's how it grows, and receiving from the rain, that's how it produces, like, it's just, like you said, the order of nature, is this process. It's a returning for us. And we're hoping that the community we're inviting the community to deepen that return with
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's an energetic return, and it's a call that
Yeah.
we are receiving to return back
Yes.
to our roots. I remember I was doing a talk and I said we're being called to reclaim our roots of abundance,
Oh, yes. We
because our roots
claim our
as people of this beautiful
Mhm.
African diaspora, our roots are so abundant and beautiful, and we are being called to reclaim what is ours.
Yes, 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 yes. I receive that.
Yeah,
I receive that. I receive that. Yeah. And
I
from
do.
that space, there is no lack. There's
No,
no lack.
there is none.
Mm-mm.
Because
Mm-mm.
then you'll say, okay, so abundance is all around me. Because I'm a person, if I see a dime or a penny on the ground, I'm picking that thing up.
Me too. Look, people be looking at me like, because I be like, I do a whole and for me, just personally, my righteous ancestors, I really think they put certain things in my life because they know I will do the most in celebration, right? So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I do the most, but it's really coming from my heart, and that's a practice that I had to
Yeah,
boost into and choose into deepening, and
right.
find joy in it, like everything else. It can happen. So even if people aren't necessarily at these places, we can choose to
Hmm.
to deepen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
what I want to do, as we, bring it, full circle and begin to wrap up this beautiful conversation. And I hear the communal like, oh, like I hear people like, no, keep it rolling, folks. Because something in my spirit is like, I'm
I
like,
know.
I am really trying. Look, I am working really hard this year to rein myself in. Okay, I just be like, yeah, um, and that's space time is a paradigm we must respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I want to be respectful of that, but I wanted to give you the last word, and also ask you and invite you to let people know how they can find you. And I want to know if there's any connections necessarily to Kwanzaa that you just want to tie in at all. Don't have to, just an invitation for that. So while you thinking on that, I want to invite people where the places that these will be posted are on the platforms of the healers. And they will include the link to the GoFundMe page. But if you want to just go to the GoFundMe site and type in healing for the healers, you'll be able to donate there. You will be able to go click on our website and read about all of the healers and read about the pro bono work that they have done just in 2020 in service of the community, and really get to know us and be with us. So I thank you for that, and we will let this beloved Allison have the pathway priestess have the last word for us.
Well, um, I just I give thanks for this opportunity to come and speak, and I feel just in my spirit that this is something that is only the beginning. It's only the beginning, because there are people within the community who are ready for this, who are ready to understand that this work is so important, and that we're passionate about what we do. And this is not just like a passing fancy because it's cute right now to be spiritual. This is something that is a calling that we have accepted, and we accept it with the grace and dignity that it calls for us to walk this path. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm very grateful. One of the things I did before I got on this call, as I always do, I always pull a card. And it's from the animal spirit. And this is turkey.
Oh my gosh. Woo! Turkey is giveaway, you know?
And it says give with gratitude and grace.
Yes.
And that is what I want people to understand, that we as healers, we give with gratitude and grace, because it is grace that has been abundant in many of our lives. That is how we receive this calling. It is by God's grace, by the things that we have had to endure and go through and take on for such a calling, for such a time as this. So with that great grace that was given to us to receive this calling, we do it with gratitude and grace. So that's what I want to convey to everyone that's watching right now. And I give thanks. I give thanks.
I mean, what better way to bring us and really root us. That was a beautiful rooting for us to plant, you know. I thank you. I appreciate you. I love you from my heart. I love you from my heart.
I love you too.
You know,
I love you too.
I know you do. I feel it. You know, I do. You know,
I feel your love too.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to all that, you know, comes from this, you know, for us, for community, you know, for the healing of our ancestors, you know. Yeah, and you know, Ashe, and so it is, you know.
Ashe. Oh.
Yes, all those, everything, you know. See to, you know, you love bring. I tell you, Butler, yes. See to it, bring. You know what I'm saying? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, you know, spending some time. I hope you catch the other beautiful medicines that are being offered, and we hope to see you in community. Where can they find you?
Oh, I am Allison Rozzel everywhere. So you can find me on Facebook, Allison Rozzel. Instagram, Allison Rozzel. You can find me on Pinterest, Allison Rozzel. I'm Allison Rozzel everywhere.
Check out the you know, Liberated Pathways podcast. Incredible. Incredible.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
love
you.
you.
Oh, love you too.